I was walking through the desert, searching for the truth. Left everything behind me, went looking out for you. Walking through the daylight and sleep under the moon. Watch every single sighting, a mirage just seems to move. You're 1,000 miles away, but if you come while I'm away, stay tonight, stay tonight. You're 1,000 miles away, but if you come while I'm away, stay tonight, stay tonight, yeah, stay tonight. If you come while I'm away, yeah, stay tonight, stay tonight, stay tonight.
Okay, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's match for Season 2 of OWCC Overwatch Community Cup. We're going to be casting an Academy League match. That's going to be Dallas Deranged against Florida Harmony. And with me tonight, of course, we have the one and only Spiff-tastic me on the bottom left, Spiff, and on the top left, of course, you're going to have Childish Rambino. Guys, how are we doing this evening? We're going to start off with you, Spiff.
Of course I'm doing Spiff-tastic. I'm ready here to finally cast another game for our OWCC friends. This is, again, Dallas versus Florida, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm dressed for success. I'm dressed to cast with my good man, Rambino.
Rambino, how are we feeling tonight about tonight's match? Season 2 is here.
That is correct, Spiff. Pleasure to be here as always, and like always, it is great to be back again with the Big Three.
So yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this match. Map number 1. It looks like it's gonna go ahead and be Horizon's Lunar Colony. Personally, it's one of those maps that I'm not a big fan of, to be honest. I put it right next to Junkertown, but I want to hear your thoughts. We're about to get into the match, so Spiff, we're gonna start off with you. Thoughts on this map, Horizon Lunar Colony?
I feel like when Horizon Lunar Colony came out, it's kind of where Paris is now, and where people were just finding a lot of things wrong with it. And again, they're both assault maps or 2 capture the point maps, and of course they had to change it, and they added some things which did improve it. But I agree with Drew. Like basically, most TCTV maps are inherently annoying from either side. If you're hard held on by trying to get through the choke, there's always a choke. The defenders usually have the best advantage, but if they get rolled over and they get to the first point, there's always that like snowball effect to where the defenders don't even have time to even set up the proper defense, and so it's just a 1 cap 2 cap right away, or it's just a hard hold. That said, I do like the changes they did. It makes the defending a little more variant with the different walls where it needs to be. Took 1 door out of the way. I expect to see a lot of bunker comps on the corner, so it looks down on the choke, because that's not only just a choke, there's a high ground looking at the choke, so it's much more in favor of the defenders, in my opinion.
So that's a good thoughts on Lunar Colony, the map that is going to come up soon, very soon. It's going to be the first map between Dallas Deranged against Florida Harmony. Rambino, you and I have casted Season 1. I'm going to throw you a little curveball here, but I want you to give me your thoughts on both teams and who you think is going to take map number 1.
Well, I definitely do favor Dallas Deranged here. They do have an excellent reputation for their offense. However, Florida Harmony, they haven't really poked out in any which way, but I do suspect that they will bring their A game in Season 2.
Season 2. And guys, with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and get ready for map number 1. Once again, Horizon Colony. It's going to be Dallas Deranged against Florida Harmony. Casters, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and happy hump day, or whatever day it is you decided to come watch this beautiful game. Again, top left in your blue is your Dallas Deranged. Top right in your red is going to be your Florida Harmony. I'm going to be your play-by-play caster most of the time when I'm yelling at you what's going on. And with me again is Childish Rambino, who give you the ins and outs of what happened, why it happened, and what they need to change. Rambino, again, happy hump day.
Happy hump day, Spiff. Now I have to say, Lunar Colony, definitely fascinating map, in my opinion. It has been reworked, so there are no flanks on the left side if you are attacking. However, there is lots of verticality to play around with. There's lots of choke points, I would argue, that are fun to take advantage of. It just depends on the playstyles, and with Baptiste, bunker compositions are more popular now. That is just absolutely decimating in one corner of the map, hoping to pick off your opponents.
And especially love Baptiste, a good addition to the game. People have contentions over his abilities, but I more or less love his passive ability, allowing him to reposition to the high ground if he does fall off, because usually, as almost any player, you want to have the high and then move down to the low ground if you have to, but even if you have to, you can come right back up. Does look like on attack first is going to be the Florida team, on defense is going to be your Dallas team, and looks like Florida is going to try and do some scouting with the setup they do have as they try and figure out their overall comp. So coming up on that Sombra, trying to figure out, well, what are they doing? Well, now they know. It's more of a bunker comp they got up here, and the D.Va, the Orisa up on the high ground. Junker, the Junk Man himself, Junk Rat, gonna be just raining death from above. Pretty much, I like having the Junkrat versus the Bastion. He puts out just as much, only not as much, but a lot more spam damage over a larger area, and is a lot more dangerous when you get up close. He's able to move a lot better, so I like the Junkrat versus the Bastion, which you usually see with that Baptiste, because you can put that invulnerability field game, like the lantern, like the lamp, like the disc, just around the corners so that they won't die, but the enemy team. Now the enemy team that does look like Florida is going to go ahead and just move, kind of make them low. ST3 getting low as well, but to hold, and now the defenders Dallas are going to reposition to the high, being basic again that high ground advantage. We do have Yuri coming from the side, trying to get some to kind of push them off or put some pressure on them. It's not going to be up because Comic Sans is going to get 2 down from 0 to 100% of their health is now gone. But they are still trying to push a little bit. They were able to get 49.1% on the point, which is absolutely amazing because until they needed to. So already I'm happy that it's not going to be a tie. Yuri does. A lot of damage is now gone from Dallas, but it is still the respawn advantage does go to Florida. Any of their deaths still have to go down. They're not giving up this high ground, which I absolutely love. Unfortunately, their Ana did fall on the low ground. And he got just run over by on that Brigitte. Again, that's the disadvantage that Ana has, and the advantage that you had over here with Baptiste. Now they do go onto the point itself. They do get booped off. Great boop. Getting it where it needs to be. You have fire in the hole, does save him, but it's not enough from ST3 as he does find Ponsby under there. Yuri does get birdie, so it is going to be a first cap. Nice, very long, extended, good defense keeping that high ground for Dallas, but now Florida's moving on to point.
Now, I'm actually pretty excited. We haven't seen a Soldier 76 in the fray in a while. I did see a lot of swaps coming out from Florida Harmony. We saw a Symmetra, which I'm unfortunately, regrettably have to say, is no longer being used, but a Tracer, a Sombra. We'll see where it gets us, and they're going to be lacking in damage, and we are seeing a switch into a Brigitte, which might be what they need. And with that ultimate coming out from Baptiste, looking forward to how it's going to be used here.
Essentially, Ana had to come and contest. Shatter finds 5 on the floor. There's Florida's wake-up call to the Dallas, and that's going to be plenty enough. There's a lot of shielding is happening, a lot of great Lucio ult to keep everyone alive. During that ult, he did fall down trying to contest, but essentially what happened there, I believe, from that, essentially this was almost a snowball, but Florida went to the point, and it seemed Dallas didn't want to come to the point, and the healers went down there. What really actually happened there, Rem, you know?
Well, I'm going to have to say that the coordination was just on point right now for Florida Harmony. That Earth Shatter was exactly what they needed, and they got onto the point, no problem. Now, there's a lot that can happen in this new round. We are probably going to see a new kind of composition now with that Soldier 76 I'm looking forward to. Probably a bunker again. Baptiste is definitely seeing a lot of utility, a lot of healing. And these corners play around perfect for Junkrat and get a nice and centered. Lots of damage going on. But if we don't see a Junkrat, we can definitely see lots of different combinations on dive. We can see a Winston D.Va, and I'm excited.
I'm excited too, and I will say over on the side of Dallas on their defense, it did seem that neither the tanks were willing to go and contest. Like even on the first attack during the first point, it didn't feel like Florida was and needed to be in much of a rush. Now that was great play by their part. But it was also a great play by Dallas's part, keeping that high ground. But then when the fight came to the point, they gave up a tick and a half. It almost seemed like they didn't know whose job was it to actually do certain parts to keep the point from being captured. And I feel like they got staggered. Anna fell off, got run down by the Brigitte, and then let the first capture happen. Second capture, they just kind of went all as a team, and there wasn't enough damage to break through the Rhine shield, despite the good amount of damage that was on the side of Dallas. We had the soldier, we had the Junkrat now, and I'm just going to say this again. It's not the healer's job to get on the point if half their team is still alive. So it really bugged me that it ended up being the Anna and the Baptiste that had gone on to the point to contest the enemy that was on there. They had 5 members on there, and they had Sombra just going off into the wilderness. And then the rest of the team came by. And in that transition is when we saw that fat shatter come out, which was just kind of the nail in the coffin for that full capture here on Horizon Lunar Colony.
And a quick word from our chat. If you're just joining us in the top left, we've got Dallas Deranged. In the top right, we've got Florida Harmony playing tonight. Fantastic set of teams. And we have just gotten word we have unpaused. So we'll go ahead and start picking our heroes here. And I already see a Baptiste getting excited. You know, we didn't get to see a lot of his plays. We didn't really see that field drop. And it is pivotal to what I would call the bunker composition now. It is very frustrating to get out of. But it is very difficult to challenge as well if you aren't prepared, namely because you really can't kill anybody as long as that field is up. So you're really just forced to wait until it wears off, or you kill it yourself and try and push in, but that is always going to be an uphill battle.
Now, which one do you like to call it? Do you like to call it its whole name, the Invulnerability Field? What nickname do you like to call it?
The Not Dead Instead Field.
Not Dead Instead Field.
So it's rolls off the tongue a little bit, but
End death.
you know, so you definitely don't want to die, so you drop the Not Dead Instead Field.
Now, very similar composition we have from Florida here on defense. Instead of the soldier, we do have the Widow trying to hit those one-hit kills. On attack, going with the Rhine Zarya versus we had the Rhine Diva, but it's more or less, you see this 3-3. Lucio going to be going there. It looked like they were going to high ground. Nope, they're going to go underneath, denying them a lot of the poke damage that they would have loved to have. So they're just simple rotation. North Tower's going to find Sayonara, who would come out just ahead of Bird. Shield goes down. Defense Matrix well used to keep the Reinhardt in the trap. It's a great trap placement that we had over here from North Tower. And essentially, since they don't want to... Dallas can actually just stay down there. They don't need to go anywhere. They're going to wait for Zenyatta to get here. And I'm going to expect the Diva who we have on Yuri to maybe go and try and chase Zenyatta, because he's all by himself, and he is kind of fight to the point, trying to distract as best they can, and by himself, shooting as what he can. Sparkly does get Joba Fett out of his mech. Yuri's mech is destroyed by Ponsbury, and again, the point is being slowly. And again, we have they do come down. It was the healer that came down first, saying we need to get in. Great boop again. So this is almost a mirror of what happened on the first attack when Dallas was defending. They come down on the point, they get booped off, and they're getting these free nothing. ST3 does get the res up on Val, and there's a double kill from the Dallas onto. So it does look like Dallas is going to be able to get another extended, and Val is actually going to try and contest. Sparkler is here in the main on the side of the defenders. Mediocre does get taken down by North Tower. Joba Fett and Ponsbury find a picks of their own. Joba Fett actually getting a double kill onto mini version of his opposing, and that's going to be a first long extended attack for Dallas as they move to the second.
And come to think of it, their ult economy isn't too bad either. Dallas Deranged has sitting on 4 ultimates, almost 5. And Florida Harmony not in a bad place. They could definitely do better here. We've got the Valkyrie on the self-destruct online here soon. We're seeing a swap into the Sombra. Could be very important to get those flanks off, try and get some back picks. But the Transcendence and the Soundbear are going to be difficult to break through if they push.
No, they did go ahead and get the tire was used to take off Sayonara. So if they with any sort that would be negated by a Transcendence, and essentially what I think that was trying to do was to negate a E that's Sparkler's trying to build up, or another. Here we go. This is what I wanted to see. As Zenyatta, Sayonara is by himself, is being chased down, had to save himself to try and get to his work, and Lucio Birdie is going to be hacked, though. Great hack. Does get the swing hammer on kill onto Randy. North Tower does take him out with a tire, though. It's 5v5 right now. Spawn advantage with Florida Harmony. And they are contesting this pull to make them come off the high ground. The Diva Bomb actually going up to where they were now. It does look like North Tower gets a pick. Gets double kill. Gets onto Mediocre and to Joe Fed. Triple kill. Comic Sans gets punched in the face. Quadra kill. North Tower Junkrat, my man, taking out the 4 final blows against Dallas. So now instead of just what we thought was going to be this is what we did, now you can do it too. It's a great hold.
So I would like to point out that their defense and the way that they're setting up their team fights, they're doing a fantastic job. Florida Harmony, they're not necessarily pushing out too far. They're not getting greedy, but we're noticing these setups with the Comic Sans, with that Graviton Surge, can be really important in clearing out that just entire oppressive push that they have set up. And I would argue that the value from an EMP would be phenomenal.
They got me last time. Not going to happen. Absolutely well done. And all the tanks on the side of Dallas do have their own great Joba Fett. And Booker does get North Tower down. He did most of the damage on the last. Joba Fett does as well. His Amp Matrix is not going to be enough. Sayonara using Transcendence again. That's 2 fights, 2 great. He hitting 4 members. I can't see all the way well. Nerf this comes out. Triple kill from Ponsby, Sayonara, and Mediocre. Are going to be taking a. Florida says, almost got that, but not quite enough. Almost all the ults were used on the side of Florida. Good on, they maybe didn't even have a choice because they were EMP'd, but Dallas still has a good chunk of what they had brought.
Now, that's another team kill for this team, and that being said, they're just really not being especially greedy with their attacks. They're just waiting to see what Dallas Deranged does and just moves around it accordingly. They're definitely not eager to get kills, but they also walk into team kill setups, which is nice.
Now on the high ground, it's going to be harder for Birdie to get that shatter, maybe holding it off until he's going to be isolated. Does able to the rest of his team to stay alive. Pons comes out, gets North Tower on the ground, who was on the main. Hit into her eyes. Here comes the Diva. Well, does find one as North Tower. Does look like it is 6v Dallas and put that in 6v2 as Sparkler and ST3 do fall. Mediocre finding a kill as well. And after that beautiful team wipe that happened from Florida onto Dallas, Dallas is able to do virtually this onto Florida. Not that point. That's going to be a capture right there. Not as quick as their counterparts, but still able to get 2 points here on Horizon Lunar Cup.
I think we can say without a doubt, Florida Harmony definitely has the stronger defense, but Dallas Deranged has the better setups.
I would agree. They seem to have. Maybe it was just that one of the last fights, but it seemed like Florida threw everything they had, including a late bongo that came out from the Orisa that after the team was essentially defeated. So I'd like to see, maybe they need to say, if this happens, we'd use this ult. If this happens, we use this ult. And of course, that never goes according to plan. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons plan. That plan is made up to give you an idea of what our general plan is, and it never goes according to plan. It almost never goes according to plan. But I did feel that the ult economy was more even, sustained, and essentially better on the side of Dallas as opposed to Florida.
Now, with 20 seconds on the clock, we'll take a look. I'm getting excited. I see a Torbjorn. Could be an excellent bunker setup modification here into what looks to be, that's a possible Goats. We're seeing 3 tanks, 3 supports, the Goats coming into bunker. We're going to see how Goats holds up in Season 2 of this match.
Now, last time Dallas did go with this, and they went essentially right underneath it. Instead of the Zenyatta, they switched off to the Ana. Hopefully to get some big fat Ana grenades and push them over now. But the 2 ideas with running a 3-3 into a bunker is, do we roll over them or do we make them come to us? So it looks like they're going to be running underneath them. Turret not able to find anyone. The North Tower actually dropping down, trying to put a lot of pressure. They're all dropping down. Val coming as well. They're very spread out right now, so if they decide to kind of put they will find their single targets. Dallas will be able to find who they need to go on. They're actually putting a lot of pressure onto Val, who is down. Can be comes back, goes up to the high ground again. Junkrat coming around from the flank. Yuri's mech getting really low, so is Val. Yuri's gonna be hit out of mech. Here comes the tire, looking for somebody. Does find a triple kill. Birdie, Mediocre, and Comic Sans are going to be taking that nap from a beautiful tire from North Tower. Ponsby does get a little bit of revenge, but it does look like Florida are going to able to hold this first assault from Dallas, but not without what they need.
We're probably going to need to keep an eye on North Tower in general, that he's gotten significant value out of his ultimates. He's got great positioning with his Junkrat grenades.
Oh, as you say that, oh, hype from our Anna over on Mediocre. It does look like Randy had a little bit of a disconnection issue, so we're going to go ahead and pause the game, but that is on the defense. That was the Baptiste. Talk about that timing. I mean, North Tower has definitely been one of the key factors in what was helping Florida kind of hold Dallas off, especially on that second point when they were pushing last round. And then it seemed that he was trying to get a pick onto the Anna, which from far away, and Anna is one of the two healers where their damage doesn't matter where they fire from it. There's just no fall off. And it's 70 damage per hit from Anna onto whoever she's hitting. So if she can hit any DPS 3 times, they die. It does 210 damage and they are dead. So as North Tower was shooting just around the corner, just doing what he was doing the entire game, it's funny that it happened as soon as it was worrying about positioning, and he was a big player. I'm glad he got rezzed up, but great timing. I loved it.
Now, we did just get an unpause here. We've got a bunker set up. And not to mention the excitement. We have to see when you pull off a perfect rip tire. You know, getting that value is really important to establishing that kind of just offensive pressure you can have, even when you're not actively pushing Dallas Deranged.
Splooge all over 2 real main points, actually, so not really. Their tire does get fire. It is 1 fire strike is all it takes. Deep bomb comes out. Boop, almost able to get Birdie into that the self-destruct. Not quite timed to where he needed to go. Was enough to kill a Yuri, though. Sparkler getting the kills. Florida right now. Dallas one more time. Sayonara using the Lucio ult, despite that his team was almost all the way down, is because the time is basically up. It's this or nothing. 75.3%. They're trying to fight as much as they can. And a grenade in the invulnerability field. Not dead. Gambino called it. I'll need to ask him again. From Sparkler, disrespect. Comic Sans gets the revenge their kill. And right now, Shatter comes out. Oh, we're finding it coming back. Dallas is coming back. Firing their hole does get Joe as he was out of his mech, able to get Yuri, who was on the hamster. ST3 getting a kill on Birdie. They're at 91.4%, and it's basically a Tracer and a Zarya against a Lucio, who's trying to stay alive as best he can. Junkrat is firing what he can. The bomb finds Ponsby, and another grenade comes in, kills Comic Sans. North Tower holding that great defense. I want to give it actually to Dallas for turning that one anywhere close to a round, because that was a great hold and a great attack. They shouldn't be upset about that, and especially since it's 92%, that means it is not going to be a tie here in Horizon Lunar Colony.
And 19 seconds on the clock once again, and I'm excited. We are going to see Florida Harmony now. They're going to take their turn to try and take the point. All they have to do is just get that last point tick, and they are solid.
Need that 92.1%. And they were taking up for free for a little bit, and then it came to the second fight, and they got a few more things for free, a few more ticks. And it was... I want to give it, again, to North Tower there, able to come in, get those last 2 kills. We're going to give it to Randy, who were able to... He was holding his own against 2 members of Tracer and a decently charged Zarya. And I don't know where actually North Tower was coming from. Like, he was coming from the main, and he was just lobbing it in there. And as per all Junkrat mains, it's mostly just like a version of spray and pray until they get closer, because they did have the change in Junkrat, and I love the change in Junkrat, that it was the projectile have gotten quote-unquote more accurate. There's less lob, more of it being a projectile, and great change. But here we have on defense, Dallas is going to be up here. We have the DPS of a McCree and a no Bastion. And they did this last time. They had the spam hero and they had the basically hit scan. Instead of going with the Widow, going with the McCree. I actually agree with that. Or the Soldier. So I guess he's just kind of muscles there. That's actually really bad for Dallas because right now it did seem that he fell down. Sayonara actually can find that pick onto S, definitely in their favor, but it looks like Florida is moving on to the point. Joe Fett right away, not going to be able to fly away when he needs to. Sayonara actually getting 2 of the kills onto the side of Florida, getting the Zenyatta and the Pharah out of the air. Comic Sans does find the ball, and Randy able to get Joe Fett, who got, and it just seems like it was a very good hold already from. Got that early pick on the Zenyatta, and it wasn't. If you're in that position where you are on attack, you are in the middle of getting from the choke to the point, and you lose. Do you do what Dallas did and just kind of hole up underneath where Dallas currently is holding, or do you wait? Do you just back up?
Well, if I had to be honest with you, the most important thing is denying your opponent the ability to attack you. So if you're taking advantage of all that cover, they really can't do anything. They are forced to sit still because if they move from their position, they have to set up again, and that takes time. So look at Florida Harmony. They're just going to say, let's just go around. We'll meet them right face to face, and that's probably a smarter idea.
I completely agree. I do like that himself had to force the Pharah out of the air, and they did realize that because it was a Sayonara on a Baptiste that can hit with that triple bullet spray, but as well as comics of damage. Out Shatter comes, does get Joe Fett on the ground, high, looking for some picks, looking for some kills. Goes on just in time for Val to get that pick onto Val. Sparkler's mech is also, he does get mediocre, so there's not going to be a Transcendence, which he did have. North Tower find they are trying onto the point. North Tower does swing away and find Sayonara. SG3 does fall to Bonsby, trying to be the Junkrat. North Tower getting 3 kills himself again. It doesn't matter. 4 kills, doesn't matter. It does look like Florida with that is going to be able to solidify this last round, getting that 92.1 first round here in this team matchup is going to be the Florida Harmony.
And let's go into take it to play of the game here. Plays for the game brought to you by North Tower as Junkrat. It's probably going to be that triple kill here. What do we got? The Florida Harmony is going to win this round.
Especially when you have all these, it wasn't even necessarily the entire consistent spam damage where they needed to be. I want to give it to a great play from a North Tower on the Junkrat. I also want to give it to Sayonara, who was able to do some very impressive things on healers. He was able to get trans one fight, trans the next fight too. But guys, when we take a quick little 2-minute break, we're going to break down what we thought, actually collect our thoughts, and we'll be right back with map number 2. Again, this is Dallas Deranged versus Florida Harmony. Don't go anywhere.
reckless when you're fun, cause you're desperate. Oh, here they come for a chance, for adventure. What's your poison? What's your pleasure? Oh, my city, she never sleeps. My city, she never weeps. My city, she keeps me alive. Give it up for my city, oh, oh, give it up for my city, oh, oh, give it up for my city, oh, 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 give it my city, my city.
Map number 2, King's Row, and it's about to start. Guys, we don't have much time to break down map number 1, but what we do have is an exciting game number 2. Florida is currently up 1 game. They took the W on Horizon Colony. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take it away, casters.
Again, guys, happy hump day, whatever day it is you're watching. Again, I am Swiftastic Me. I am the guy with the thumbs up and the happy smile because my video sucks. But with me is my better half, my punnier half, the man with the plan, Childish Rambino. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing quite all right, Spiff. 15 seconds on the clock, and in our top left, we've got Dallas Deranged. Top right, we got Florida Harmony duking it out. Now, we are on map 2 here. I'm particularly excited about King's Row. I don't get to see a lot of King's Row anymore. And now, as they pick their heroes, I have to ask you, Spiff, what are your thoughts on this map?
It is one of the more well-received maps. There's several maps in the pool of maps that Blizzard has released for this game of Overwatch that several people do not like. They don't like assault maps in general. They didn't like several things in Horizon Lunar Colony. That's why they even had to go in and change some of the things. But I have yet to hear anything bad about King's Row. This is a very well-designed map. Aesthetically pleasing, and has all the mechanics you need for different kinds of defenses. You can set up on the bunker on the high ground. You can sit behind the point itself. There's a lot of great sight lines. I would like to actually see the snipers that we do see coming out from Yuri, but it does look like Dallas is going to be sticking more with the defensive version of their goats. So they have the Zen goats, and that's what they're going to be trying to hold back. Now, a lot of people actually hold this first choke where the walls open in front of the tower. Usually don't want to do that because if you hold there and you get rolled over, there's no real place to hold. And Yuri getting a double kill right out of the bat. Birdie and Skeeter do fall down. Joe Fett does get North Tower, though. So it's still in favor of Florida. There's 5v3 right now as they do get the last little pick. One straight push. It actually scared me. I saw Val charging in from the middle of nowhere, coming right in front of Dallas, and then the rest of Florida was like, oh, okay, we'll go with you, and was able to get that pick, and great double kill from Yuri, but a great first attack, first capture here on King's Row, the hybrid map.
Now, I will give credit to Florida Harmony. They're a little bit more adventurous in their team builds. I don't get to see a lot of Ashe either, and Yuri's doing a fantastic job of what it's worth.
I mean, one team fight, one Bob, able to trying to push them back even further. You'll see this a lot in King's Row, which again, the hybrid map, you capture the point, get the payload, move it forward. You will see the attackers, once they get it, they're going to start moving the... they're going to try and decide where the next fight happens. They don't want it to happen around in the archway. They want to have it happen more or less in the street phase or phase 2, further up to where they are now. And that's essentially what they did. That's why they moved the Bob. That's why the Bob was up there in the corner. Transcendence comes out. It's more of an offensive Transcendence to come out. It's not really competing anything, but there's the grab following up right now. But getting bopped all the way around, Comic Sans, a lot of damage came out. Val does get Birdie and Ponsby does get ST3. It's more or less even, but they are trying to hold this 1 point. Dallas is. Here comes another Bob right down the alleyway. Great positioning, putting a lot of damage onto Comic Sans, who's gets the minion, comes around. North Tower double kill onto 2 healers on the side of Dallas. So Florida is going to be able to move forward even more. And I got to say, it's probably because we got such a brawly front line with Val and North Tower up in the front, but it's Yuri that's doing a lot of work, a lot of damage onto that 3-3 composition because of the dynamite, and I love seeing Ashe. I hope you do too, Ramp, you know?
I love a good Bob. I don't know about you, Spiff, but we're sitting on just above 4 minutes, and they're already at the second checkpoint. You know what that means. We have 5 minutes, 35 seconds to push it all the way to the end. They're in a good spot right now.
And they're getting a Bob every team fight so far. First team fight, there was a Bob. Second team fight, there's a Bob. Nerf this comes out kind of to maybe to zone them out. Charge from Val, very aggressive on the side. Shatter comes on the ground. We got 5 people on the floor. I want to give it to Skeeter, who was able to more or less have that transcendence there to back it up, to keep him alive. Otherwise, that would have been a wipe. Sayonara is going to get that boot kill on a North Tower. Diva Bomb comes out from the defenders, looking for something right on the corner. They use the payload as a defense. Yuri does actually take down the other Bob that had come out, so Comic Sans no more Bob on from Yuri. Val does fall down to Sayonara. It does look like Dallas is able to hold around this corner here, and with a great sequence of ults, counter ults, there's the big dynamite that come out and just all the ticking damage. So another Bob is going to be in our future, which simply means, again, every real fight that's happened so far, Yuri has had a Bob, which is pretty impressive.
And speaking of Bob, already sitting on another one good to go. We've got the Sound Barrier and the Graviton Surge coming out for Dallas Deranged, but it doesn't look like they've been able to get any proper footing.
Not quite yet. Great big dynamite. Shatter just finds Jobafet, who is going to be hit out of mech. And North Tower double kill on a Sayonara and Birdie. Val finding his own double kill onto Ponsbury and Jobafet. Make that triple kill. As it does look like Florida is able to get this last point. I do believe Dallas will have one more contention as they are respawning. And they have plenty to do it. They have the Transcendence. They have the Lucio drop beat. They have the Shatter. They have the grab. And they're going to have a rally. Shatter comes down, finds 2 on the ground, looking for a charge kill. Able to get Randy down from a fire strike. Lucio all comes out from the side of Dallas. Diva Bomb coming out as well, trying to clear him off. Isn't going to be anybody. Does not able to get anyone. Comic Songs that is getting a lot of ult charge from that. Does get Jobafet out of mech though. North Tower getting the mini Diva, but Ponsby does get SG3. They need to have somebody on points. Have someone on point. They're going to go. It's going to 13% Sparkler. You could have actually gotten that. They were so close, just letting you have it 0.13 meters away. Dallas was spread out, trying to find the last people who were there on the side of Florida. They almost got it.
Now that being said, it actually came to the point where the payload was just about to go off. And that's pretty funny if I ever saw it.
And it was so close. I was like, Sparkler, just move over. You got this. He even moved it at pretty much a whole meter. Almost got it. Another Bob comes out right on the point, getting boot back. Shield from Birdie is going to be enough. Val charges in, doesn't find anybody with it right now, but Yuri's in the high ground. Bob does get the kill on the Birdie. Yuri finds himself a Skeeter. Double boot from Randy. Sayonara says Sayonara, and Comic Sans tries to find another font to say first round's over, because we got Florida Harmony getting a full capture here on Kings Row.
Now that is the 3rd team kill for Florida Harmony throughout all of the maps played as of right now, Spiff. They employed what I would like to call a blitzcrank strategy. They just never let Dallas Deranged get their footing, and even when they did get their footing, Florida was right then and there, tripping them up.
And it was wonderful to see. I'm still surprised that, again, there wasn't the usual backup that you'd expect from an aggressive Reinhardt for the rest of his team. Val having these very, very aggressive charges, and it's more or less that's the signal. Guys, we have our Reinhardt's charging, everyone goes. They back him up, and they get the kills. They cause enough chaos. Yuri finds the picks. They do get the kill. They get the kills, get the team fight, and they win. Dallas is sticking with a very traditional playstyle, and they're playing it fairly well. It's just that Florida is able to cause enough chaos and difference and throwing a wrench into what Dallas is usually expecting to see, to where Florida is just getting the one-up every time.
I would agree with you there, as a matter of fact. And with 23 seconds on the clock, another Torbjorn. So we could see if that stays, or maybe it won't. But the bunker composition is definitely being utilized here, and Ash is going to stay with Yuri. So I could definitely imagine how valuable Bob could be, as long as they're denying those chokes.
I'm curious where they're going to hold, because they don't have what I would expect to have with this. It would usually be a Diva instead of that 3rd DPS. And if Dallas just does what they've been doing, which is just move straight to the point with their 3-3, which they still have, is it going to be Yuri and the 2 of the DPS down there on the ground? Because that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing right now, is they're staying down on the ground. Now the bunker comp is very strong, because there's nobody really to contest except for Jobafet, who would need to go all up in the high ground. I love what Dallas is doing. They're actually going completely around. They said, okay, look, we're just going to come to the high ground eventually. We're going to come all the way around. We're going to make you keep doing rotations, because one of the things you try to do with bunker comp is to get them to reposition and move. The turret is staying where it needs to be. Yuri gets the pick onto Bonsby, but they're going to move the fight to the point. Blind positioning from the turret, so not a lot of damage. Sayonara getting the big pick on Yuri. So right now it's 5v5. It's anybody's game right now. Great Anna grenade onto Sayonara, getting really low. That is going to be taken out by Val. Joe Fett does find the kill on North Tower. Again, keeping this even, 4v4. Joe Fett getting a double kill onto Val. Sparkler does find the mini diva, as Joe Fett was the reason that he got out of mech and the mini versions. The turret's just doing all the damage that it needs to do, but it was enough, and Ponsby could actually just stand onto the point right now if he needs to, because the respawns are going to be in advantage of Dallas right now. It's just ST3, charge comes out to try and stun him. It's not going to be enough. Yuri finds the kill into Ponsby, is just trying to destroy the Anna, who does get away until Comic Sans gets it. Here comes a fire in the hole, does find Sayonara. It's essentially a Zerg fest from either side, because neither side is able to kind of solidify what's going on. North Tower being very aggressive, going all the way on the side. Bob comes out on the point. Again, Bob counting as a person is able to contest if he needs to. Yuri getting the kill onto Mini Diva and Skeeter and Birdie. Bob doing all the work as a turret himself. And it's going to be a reset. They did get 72.2%, so it's not, it was that very long extended fight was not in vain, but another reset. Let's see what Dallas can do this time.
The value from the Bobs, I would argue, is probably why they wanted to stay on the Ashe, and we don't see a lot of Torbjorn. And I would argue also with that, it's probably because Torbjorn just doesn't have mobility, but otherwise he's a powerhouse. Very strong.
Very strong, and they were having trouble with the turret, to be honest. I mean, the turret got 2 kills by itself. Didn't even do it. It's just free damage. And again, the only real contestant they can get to kill that turret is the Zenyatta to try and do it down from afar, or to get Jolfed up there. But right now, they're having trouble getting onto the point. They're having trouble dislodging Florida where they want Florida to be. And I love the positioning of the turret right now, up in the high ground, behind the point. It's not going to shoot anybody unless they're on the point. And now they're actually holding there instead of on the high ground. Dallas is, I believe, being thrown for a loop and deciding to just maybe wait until ults, because right now they have all 6 about to be online. What do you think they need to do to really break through what Florida is putting up?
I would say just don't be trigger happy. They're trying to push through that choke patiently, but they should definitely try and find a weak spot. They want to get out of those sight lines, get in the buildings, force them to fight indoors. It probably would be good on both sides. But if they can sway it in their favor, they can easily take that point.
Now the Molten Core comes out. Now Junkrat was very, very aggressive. Ponsby's actually going to take down Randy. So great use of getting the swing happy there. But up on the high ground, they tried to reposition. Val was trying to find a reposition, and it ended up being the rest of his team had to try and contest. And when he finally got to the point, it was already over. So there you go, Dallas Strange able to get the capture point onto the payload, and then start moving forward. And just like you saw Florida do on their turn, Dallas is going to push forward to try and get a much farther and faster encounter with the team. Now, Randy, unfortunately, having a little bit of connection issues is going to be the reason why we pause. But what did you see there, Rambino, that maybe I didn't?
Poetry in motion, as it were, Spiff. Their teams on both sides, even though Bunker, they don't want to move, they're able to at least transition, and I think that's important. You understand that you sacrifice a lot of mobility, you sacrifice a lot of variety, I would say, with a Bunker composition, but even when Florida Harmony was trying to poke in from multiple angles, they were able to rotate, and I think as long as they can keep that up, they'll be okay pushing this.
And it did seem to go just absolutely fine. Again, Randy is coming right back in very quick, so it's just a small little hiccup maybe with his router. But moving forward, I keep seeing Dallas trying to do the same thing over and over again, but no real switches at all. We do see a few switches coming out from Florida right now. Val's getting off, of course, the Orisa going on to the Reinhardt, because in Streets phase, you need to have you have them down a straight line. Fire Strike able to get a really big fat charge off of it. But I want to point out something I noticed that Dallas didn't do that was really in the favor of Florida, and that was they didn't really try and get to the high ground. Dallas never tried to really push them off. They pretended to almost try and push them off, but it seemed that Florida had the high ground that entire first point. And I feel that if they were able to get on there, get up there, push them off, or change what was going to happen, they would have been fine. And I actually want to say North Tower is being a little too aggressive. He was the first pick that died on that last encounter, and He was in the back line, basically, not even in the back line, just on top of the tanks as Dallas was pushing forward. And I think he would have had more value if he just stayed on the high ground, because Joe Fett's not really going up there to contest.
Absolutely. And as the payload continues pushing, you go 2 minutes, 35 seconds. Not enough time to do anything crazy. But as long as they keep it pushing up, every second counts.
Really does. And you see, again, you see the difference between where the payload is and where Dallas is trying to hold. It's essentially giving free space. Fire in the Hole comes out from North Tower. Fun thing you can do is actually run it into a wall, and the entire sound basically goes away, so they don't get to hear where it comes from. They knew where it was, and even with they knew where it was still able to get birdie. And they're giving up free space right now because it is an advantage of Florida to push forward. Grab being used by Dallas despite being down one. Here comes the Diva Bomb combo, looking for some kills. Does find ST3. Skeeter going to get Randy as well. Yuri finds Sayonara. Despite being down one, they're being very aggressive. Bob comes out, basically stopping the point. Again, Bob counts as a person. He is contesting the payload. He goes away. There's Dallas able to move forward. Comic Sans getting the double kill. Interesting, that thing I wouldn't expect usually, especially from a 3-3, that if they lose their Reinhardt, they should usually back up. But they said, you know what? Never mind. Push forward, use the grab, did the combos, and was able to get that engagement there. And it looks like if they can't get somebody on here, they're going to get the second point. They're going to try and get there. It's not going to be enough. Great second point capture here from Dallas.
And that being said, we're looking at Dallas Deranged just very somberly push down this payload, and Florida Harmony not really giving much of a resistance here. They're probably waiting around the corner to make any big plays.
Transcendence used, trying to save Sayonara from SG3's on Barrage. Not going to be enough. Shatter comes out, does find two on the ground. It's going to be trying to be cleaned up as Comic Sans is taken down by Sparkler. North Tower finds Skeeter as well. Florida, again, another Bob. He literally used Bob not, 20 seconds ago? 30 seconds ago? That's another Bob from Yuri, and it counts as a contest. Pushed him back. Dallas is going to have to reset and try something else. And they kind of moved to their own version of 3-3 right now, because there's no more Junkrat. There's just Brigitte to try and brawl up in the front. Do you agree that North Tower should have gone to the Brigitte or stuck with a Junkrat? Which one do you think he's giving more value for?
Well, definitely Junkrat, without a doubt. We got a lot of value, but a Brigitte is also good to play with this kind of team comp. You want that bulkiness to try and push in, and because you don't have too many threats that Junkrat picking into would benefit from, it's probably safer to just stick with the Brigitte.
Now, I want to point out there's a great shatter that was used against Dallas, but it was Sayonara that was able to use the Lucio ult to keep him alive. Here's Neo Bomb. Yuri does find Comic Sans. Sparkler's that mech is D-mech. Skeeter does find North Tower. Transcendence being used by Florida to try and keep the very forward pushing Ponsby from Brigitte from killing anybody. They're going to be able to stabilize. Florida is going to sit here and not allow Dallas to move any further. And already Dallas is basically back. They're just waiting for Brigitte. Florida still trying to regroup and decide where they need to be. High ground here on Yuri. Another Bob ready to be used right away. Rally as well to hold and solidify. They have Bob here and gets stopped right by the point. Unfortunate, but the Shatter's there. And this fantastic Transcendence. Great shatters came out from Val, and both times were shut down for the value by having the great support ults there on the side of Dallas. Just high fives and cheering for there. Skeeter able to get North Tower as well, and they are able to get the momentum they need to start pushing the payload around this final corner. Sparkly drops down. Yuri still on the high ground. Transcendence being used by Florida again. These support players are getting a lot of ults, and I love seeing that. Two's on the ground. Both Reinhardt's charge. One finds the target. The other one decides to go back to his team. Birdie getting that charge onto Randy. Joe Fett able to get Yuri, who is on the high ground contesting so much. Already has the Bob again. So that Dynamite getting a lot of ult charge that he needs to. Comic Sans actually finds Val. Great pick. The boop! The birdie. It's not even a boop. It's just the charge boop onto Randy as he fell down into the abyss. Bob again comes out in the corner, only shooting when he can. Grab comes out, able to get that ST3 kill, but when he comes in, Ponsby gets taken down by Bob. Shatter finds two on the ground, the charge! Looking for some, finds Sayonara. They are in overtime, they need to get this. And it's Florida clearing up. And I tell you what, it's Florida taking King's Row.
And I do believe that's a 2-0 in terms of Florida Harmony. We're going to go ahead and take it to play of the game here. Brought to you by, yet again, North Tower. Okay, so we got the Brigida set up here, and we just recovering from an Earth Chatter. Going to swing left and right, left again. Into the triple, how about a quadra for your money? And can you get the 5-man into the team kill for the 6? Beautiful.
Now Val may have got those final blows, but I tell you, holding that left click, I need them to stretch that finger just a little bit, because that holding that button down, it's so hard. But great job on both sides. Dallas was able to. Again, I want to point out great support ults that were used. But guys, let's take a short little break so I can absorb what just happened, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
And welcome back, everyone, to map number 3. Currently, we have Florida leading this series with the 2-0 against the Dallas Deranged. And as you can see, the map is going to be Oasis. This is map number 3, and we have the casters for tonight, play-by-play. That'll be the good old Spifftastic me and his dual partner, Childish Rambino. Guys, take it away.
Happy hump day to you, Rambino. How are you? Are you enjoying the match so far?
Absolutely, Spiff. Thank you for asking. A happy hump day to you.
Yay! Again, we're here on Oasis Map 3. It is the control point map. Again, there's 3 maps in this, basically the one map here that is Oasis. Out of the 3, I like this one the most because it's not an environmental kill, but there is that central component to the point that you can pull somebody in, maybe as an Orisa, or you can boop somebody in as a Lucio. You take them out of the fight, essentially, for 10 plus seconds, because unless they are like a Pharah or even a Baptiste, they're going to have to walk all the way underneath and contest. Now, both teams, just one deciding to take the high ground, Sayonara the very, very high ground, and they essentially switch sides. But it does look like Florida's going to be sticking onto the point. We do have 3-3s against 2-2-2s over on the side of Dallas. First time Dallas has actually decided to go with that, and so they do have Comic Sans and Ponsby on DPS flankers. So they're going with a very, very dive heavy, hoping to find some kind of target that they need to kill. And they weren't really expecting to see a 3-3 coming out from Florida because they almost never played. Ponsby getting the dash kill onto SG3, already down 1 in favor of Dallas. They're going to even it up by getting Jumbo Fett down thanks to Randy. Birdie's find Valve. Yuri does find it in Ninde, and it's enough to get Birdie out of a mech with a flail to the face. Florida was able to actually capture the point before Dallas was able to contest whatsoever. So it's already, no matter how long this fight goes, it's in favor of Florida. They're able to get Sayonara, and they're able to basically stagger out all the people they need to, as Diva's trying to get away. Is he going to be able to get away? He is just enough. Birdie able to get off of the... Essentially, I find it interesting that Birdie was the main tank, more or less, for Dallas, and is in fact giving that to Joe Buffett on the Winston, perhaps because more comfortable on one versus the other. Birdie actually getting a great pick onto Randy. Shatter comes out, finds 3 on the ground. Coalescence being used, but Diva Bomb coming out on the side does look like it's going to catch him in Ninde, just enough. Florida is going to start just cleaning up the Dallas push, and there are ults ready, and I need to know what Dallas needs to do to get through Florida again, but this is different from last time.
And speaking of such a weird coincidence, we're looking at a team that doesn't seem to have any real desire to get too greedy yet again. That Florida Harmony, they're still playing somewhat conservative. They are pushing out, but really they're not eager to get any more kills, as they're just running up that timer right now.
They are, and that's more or less the contention. What is that sweet spot again, Rambino, for percentage on the point?
88%.
80% means essentially if you're able to win the next team fight, there's not enough time for the respawners to come in and contest. Now, they are holding where they need to hold. Sayonara is going to be taken down by Val. Joe Fett I love that Joe Fett came in, Dove got deleted. They are going to have to reset one more time. I do want to point out props to Ponsby searching out the flank because he probably noticed that Val was nowhere to be found, and Val was trying to go for like a cheeky shatter, or a sneaky charge, and it was not going to be enough. Nerf this comes on. They already get an overtime because it is 99%. Lucio all comes out on the side of Florida, trying to let them push forward. Ninde going to be chased down. Uses the healing orb. Does able to dash away. Eugene no karaoke comes out from Ponsby. Does get booped away. Does find the kill on North Tower, though. Grab finds 2, and 2 are going to fall down. Sayonara actually survives. Sparkler does get the monkey. Florida is going to go ahead and basically wipe out the rest of Sayonara and Birdie here on the point, and it is going to be first of the 3 maps going to Florida for this one.
And just as you say that, Spiff, that is, I believe, the 4th team kill across all of the maps played tonight.
What is Florida doing so right that you're seeing that Dallas is either not answering or not doing their own version of it when they come to the team fight?
I would say that Florida Harmony is just more adventurous in their team comps. They're a little bit more friendly towards being flexible, I would say also, and that we do see a Wrecking Ball and even a Reaper coming out from Dallas, but they're a little bit too rigid.
I mean, they essentially just switched ideas. Florida has been the one that's kind of gone non-traditional, seeing the Ashe, seeing the Soldier, and then it's usually been Dallas. The last 2 maps have been, we're going to do 3-3, that's it. And now they're doing something different. I love that they're trying to experiment with what will work for them, and they are essentially going the Wrecking Ball. I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. It does seem that Florida's asking for a pause real quick. Randy seeming to have another issue, and it could be because of Discord. Like I even want to let them know that it could be Discord that's causing Randy these issues, because we were having some issues over here on production with it. So it's not necessarily Randy does this every single time. It's just he's DCing. So when it comes to control maps, I am almost always seeing the 3-3, which is why I think Florida has switched on to it. What do you think? Is Dallas trying to throw Florida on the back end because it was happening to them so often with their composition?
I don't know if that's the word I would pick, just simply because, Florida Harmony, they're really proven to be a very coordinated team that they can really just adjust to what happens, and it's ridiculous.
And they need to figure out what's going to work, and maybe this will work. Again, they have the Wrecking Ball, essentially will cause all the chaos they need to. Ponsby's going to fire from above with Ninde on his back, and Sayonara is going to boost the Reaper around. Birdie hopefully will just be able to stay alive, be in the right position he needs to be, and put some damage maybe into the Rhine Shield. But if Val and North Tower decide to just push forward on to Birdie, there's not really high ground that's easy for a Hanzo to be on this point because of the way that most of the walls are to the middle. So if he's in the middle, he can't actually get on top in the middle. He has to walk all the way basically to the outside or onto the very small high ground, which he can still be chased on. So if North Tower and Val decide to dive on or just push forward, push W and hold their left click on somebody, it's probably going to be Birdie, because he's going to be out of everybody that's there, he's more or less the one that doesn't have a perfect escape like the Reaper does, and he's going to be taken down. Now, what do you think the plan, based on what I said, is actually what's happening in Florida's mind, or what's happening in Dallas's mind? What is Dallas's plan here?
I want to say they're just looking for a weakness in Florida Harmony's team composition, but it's more than that. I think they're just trying to throw anything on a wall and see what sticks.
And hopefully maybe they found it. Maybe they found the perfect al dente spaghetti recipe. They added just the right amount of salt. They added a little bit of olive oil to make sure, to try and help to make sure that all those noodles do not actually stick. Those are 2 actual things that work, by the way. And we are pointing out one thing, according to the rules, and there is a very extensive rule list. It's a very interesting document. I've read it all once. I can't say I remember it all perfectly, but I can tell you that one of the things that says when it comes to DCs is 3rd DC, you're actually not allowed to play anymore. Now, that can be dealt with in terms of bringing someone in. You can bring in a sub. You can maybe get permission to move on with 5v6 because you're going to be down 1. So there's probably some discussion right now going on with the referee, which I believe is Bray, and the Florida team, which again Randy has DC'd for the 3rd time this matchup.
We can take a 2-minute break if you like.
Now, while we're waiting, Spiff, I do have a quick question to segue into for you.
We can take a 2-minute
Go for
break if you guys want.
Go for your question. I want to hear it.
So, On a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you find yourself wondering what the heck is a Pharah, a Hanzo, and a Wrecking Ball doing on a team?
My thing is, a lot of them don't care, and they're gonna play who they want to play because homie don't play that. That's what I think, and I think when they do that, it's usually because they're on the okay, guys, we tried everything else. Let's just try this because there's that little bit of idea that it's maybe a little not cheap. It's just usually hard for people to counter it. But we are let's go ahead and take actually a quick little like minute or 2 minute break as we're trying to figure out if we can get a sub back for Florida. Again, this is the match between top left in the blue, Dallas Deranged against Florida Harmony. We had a DC third time in a row, and according to the rules, he's not able to come back into the game. So we're going to try looking for a substitute, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. We got somebody. Minion has stepped up. He's found his place. He's been coming in for good Randy. He's going to get on the Lucio speed boost himself to the point because the fight's already basically underway. Wrecking Ball diving in onto Val. And his job is to cause chaos to open up openings for Birdie on the floor and for Ponsby up in the air. Val's actually going to get that Fire Strike kill onto Sayonara. Great pick. That means Florida's already up 6v5. Minion finds the kill onto the ball as well. It is currently still in favor of Florida by 1. As ST3 did fall, and they're going to get that. They're going to get it as Dallas decides, okay, guys, we are going to back up. We're going to regroup, and it's going to start ticking up right now for Florida.
It seems overall they've just been dominant in the way that they play, but they also seem to have an answer for everything Dallas Deranged throws at them now. Again, they have a Hanzo, they've got a Wrecking Ball, a Reaper, and a Pharah, and they're still having trouble adapting to the way Florida Harmony is just playing around their team comp.
And there comes out the rally to keep them going because there was some great picks on both sides. They're trying to solidify this Reaper. The boop! The huge boop! Double kill from Minion. That's how you come in and say, hi, I'm here now. Here's my double kill. It's fine. We got the kills. Florida's just going to keep it. Great job for our Minion bro. And he's going to, of course, with that 2 boop kill, because of all the damage it does, he's going to have a sound bear this next fight.
And with 50% and counting, it really looks bad right now for Dallas Deranged. They're trying to find an opening, but there is just no way they can get through without having to suffer losses.
Now that could be an opening as they do the pick on ST3, one of the 3 healers there on the side of Florida. Dragon comes out, finds the perfect positioning to make sure Val does die, finds Minion for a kill as well. Yuri does get the revenge kill, but here comes out the mines from Dallas onto basically their entire side as they're moving forward. They are up right now. Ponsby getting Sparkler out of mech as well. Grav does catch 2. It's going to be enough to take down Ponsby, but Yuri's going to fall down to Comic, and it's still Brigitte needs to be taken care of because here he is swinging as he can. Comic getting that double kill. Nindy's gonna be taken down by that fire strike, and it's Dallas is still trying to get it. Does get it, but here comes Sparkler. He does get the remake right on top, and during the remake, actually not gonna get taken down. Dallas does finally turn it over despite the charge from Val onto Comic. That almost would have been absolutely perfect if somehow that charge continued to put it in overtime, but 94% for Florida. Dallas is finally starting to tick up.
And with this offensive pressure really starting to mount, they're going to need to keep Florida Harmony guessing. That is the biggest thing, because the unorthodox strategies are what's going to work right now.
Great Dragon Strike again, going to be helped out by Minions. Beat dropped, making sure that Val did not get caught out again, because he would have fallen if it had not been for that. Justice raining from above, looking for the kill, and SG3 gets the double kill on the Val. Diva Bomb comes out, gets Joba Fett, but Yuri and Minion find their own picks. It is still anybody's game, but Florida is here on the point. 2v2, 3v2 in favor of Florida right now. 44% still taken out for Dallas, but Birdie and Nindy do find their own kill, their own deaths, and they're just going to give up. Looks like Dallas's Comic-Con says it's all right. I'm not going to be able to survive on the point. That's going to be 2. Right. Oh, they are able to just barely get on the point, but their tower gets a double kill with the tower. Jumbo Fett gets his own double kill. Dallas is keeping this alive, playing Ring Around the Rosie as the ball. Transcendence comes out from Florida, keeping Val alive to just swing his hammer left and right. Sayonara trying to put it up. Ninde does taken down by North Tower. Here comes the rally from North Tower. Charge does find the ball. SG3 does get a double kill on Sayonara and Joba Fett, despite that I thought it was basically over because Comic Sans had gone away. It is just him again. He needs to stay on the point. Even with the ability to lifesteal, it's not going to be enough. Does get booped off. Great last attempt there from Dallas. I got to get it to him. I thought it was over, but they did keep me in suspense. And there's Florida again, currently winning this series between Dallas and Florida, 0-3 in their favor. Play of the game, Rambino.
And today's Play the Game brought to you by Minion as Lucio. Okay, here we go. He's going to be trying to get an environmental kill. Looks like there's into a double. Very nasty, if I ever did see it. But it was fantastic nonetheless.
Great way to enter into that, guys. They're going to we're basically going to let Florida regroup because, again, they did win, but they were introducing another player that wasn't playing with them the rest of the match. Dallas is going to see if what worked, what didn't with their compositions, and we'll take a short break and come right back for map 4.
welcome back, everyone. We are jumping into the final match here between Dallas Deranged and Florida Harmony. The game will be starting very, very shortly, and as you can see, the map is going to be Gibraltar, and we do have the casters here with me. It's going to be Childish Rambino on the color, and play-by-play, it's going to be Spifftastic me. Guys, how we doing tonight? Jumping into game number 4.
It's in the name.
Exactly. So far, we've seen a very dominant Florida side, but are we expecting something different from Dallas coming up?
I mean, I'm hoping so, and especially if we saw differences from last map, I would like to see more things being tested to see what works and what sticks. How about you, Rambino?
Well, Dallas Deranged, they still have an opportunity to show us an ace up their sleeve, and I hope that they have been saving it.
I mean, I did see that there were some good plays on the first map of Oasis. However, they didn't take it. I did like the dive competition they had then, and it's the same one we're seeing now. I want to see Ponsby, Comic, and Little Demon, who has now come in as the main tank for Dallas, to do something awesome. And it's very interesting because right now on Florida is essentially holding their ground, not going anywhere. Here comes the monkey diving through, D.Va coming forward as well. Great kill onto Yuri, who was on that Widow. Great follow through from the rest of the team, and essentially the entire team moved there. That's exactly what happened. That's you don't usually see the dive being that good, and maybe the timing was off by like maybe half a second, but great follow through. Defense matrix onto the monkey, dived on, killed the Yuri, and Yuri, of course, getting the revenge kill onto Little Demon, as the respawn is definitely in favor of the attackers. Florida, again, Florida is your top right red, and Dallas is your top left blue. And Florida is getting a lot of free real estate right now. It's free real estate. It's totally free real estate because there's not a lot they're doing to contest if they're getting kills. ST3 actually popping off right now on Zenyatta, triple kill. Holy cow, I love that. I'm sorry, hold on. There's 4 kills there for our ball man, and I say balls all the time, so I'm very happy for this. Yuri using his infrared sights, so knowing which direction they're going to be coming from, and it's not going to be enough as Little Demon is taken down by Minion before he's even able to contest whatsoever. He didn't quite have the primal, but pretty, despite the small start, pretty dominant push so far from Florida.
Absolutely, and 5 minutes on the clock, and they're not even at the second checkpoint yet, which means that they're managing their time very effectively. They're not really eager to use their ultimates. They're just slowly coasting by, reacting, not really being proactive about their engagements.
Everything for Comic Sans was able to get Yuri, and then is also able to get North Tower with that bomb. Ninja able to make it even with Pons beginning, who had died from the D.Va bomb. Res back up using Yuji no Karaoke. Is going to be counteracted by the Transcendence, and unless he's Ana boosted, the Transcendence will out heal any damage that comes out. Minion actually really, really, really low. They're going to get that pack. Shatter comes out, is able to find Sayonara on the ground. Fire Strike kill onto him is going to be enough before to start getting momentum in this fight. But Val is actually getting really low, does get the charge kill, and then a great 2 picks from him. Ponsby does get the kill though. Little Demon doing a lot of backward distortion in the back line of Florida. And they are still pushing the payload very slowly. Dallas is just giving them all the free movement, all the free distance, all the free real estate they can. SG3 getting another kill on the Little Demon. North Tower finding Mini D.Va. Yuji no Karaoke comes out from Minion. Maybe not even needed, but definitely scares out anybody from coming forward. Does get the kill on the Ninde, and that's going to be a number 2 point capture on here on Gibraltar for Florida.
Now, 5 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock. They're on the second checkpoint, and we are waiting on the self-destruct. But other than that, just the infrared vision coming out from Widow. So it's, again, going to be just a slow push. Dallas Deranged, not too eager to contest.
They're not even coming forward to the point, man. They'd actually come up, getting the pick onto Minion. Nerf this being counteracted. Actually, more or less was trying to move forward. It looks like it was maybe boot back or forgot to push the shift key to move forward. Great pulse bomb again. Comic Sans actually doing a great job trying to put pressure on Yuri and finding him twice this map already. Pulse bomb kill and a regular kill during that the streets phase. Val getting the swinging hammer kill onto Sayonara. Here comes out another D-Mech onto Birdie. Here comes out the Valkyrie from Ninde going in for the res. Does get the res into Sayonara, making it more even for and more in favor of Dallas if they realize that they push forward. Little Demon with that angry monkey trying to distort again the backline, and it's working very well, making Yuri decide where he's trying to be. Transcendence being actually used to keep himself alive. Minion does get taken down by Birdie. Little Demon coming back, doing a lot of work. Again, for Dallas, a great sub coming in. Ponsby does get the dash kill onto Yuri. Eugene No Karaoke does come out again for Ponsby. Doesn't get a kill with it, but and gets taken down by North Tower, so it's now it is now shifted back in favor of Florida as they come around the last corner. There's not a lot of damage right now for Dallas as we're waiting for the Ponsby is here. Here comes that Diva Bomb. Is there going to be enough cover? There's not. Ninde, I'm able to find a place to go. Sayonara says Sayonara to himself. Florida, this is the best position for Florida as Yuri is on basically the high ground in the back behind the point with straight sightlines onto where the fighting is happening. Now, Birdie does get the great Diva Bomb kill onto SG3, but is then taken out by North Tower. Dallas, is they still holding here, does come out with the Lucio ult, getting that padded on the shields. Yuri does find Comic Sans in between the dashes and is getting it rezzed right away. Both Sayonara and Ninde both take a dirt nap once again. Florida able to find them and find their targets to get the kill. Comic Sans trying to run away from Val as he swings his hammer. Another angry monkey from Little Demon. ST3 finding the kill onto the ball that has come out from Dallas. Again, great stall hero, but it's not going to be enough as Minion does take out his counterpart Genji. Monkey coming back onto the side, does have the Discord Orb, but I don't expect him to survive much longer. He definitely does get dropped down. Birdie able to get onto the point as the ball does get taken down before Shield's just shredded, despite the fact that that's how the ball works, and it's going to be a full 3 points here on the first attack from Florida.
Strong show of force yet again from Florida. And then we're going to see them try to defend here, but I'm curious to see if Dallas Deranged will be as unorthodox as they were in the last map.
And I actually hope they are. There is something to be said watching high-level players like from the Owls playing 3-3, because to me it's boring. But there is a lot of very small things that have to be done to play it exceptionally well. And maybe I just don't understand all of them. But I love seeing, I'm actually really looking forward to hearing things that scare you now again, like Eugene No Karaoke. I know that's not karaoke, I just think it's funny. But hearing the sights, hearing the high noon, hearing the DPS ults that I've missed so much, because this is a first-person shooter, not a first-person brawler, which is what I feel 3-3 has essentially made the game. But I agree, I want to see something changing, and it did feel like Dallas was able to. They were definitely getting walked over. I think their best show was the first part of the map when they came in. They dove on Yuri right away, got that kill, got that pick, and then they were all moving as a unit. Then they all spread out again, and then they were getting taken down. But Florida, are they relying on one or two people to get this done? Are they playing more as a team, or is Dallas just still not able to find that kink in the armor?
I would say that in general, Florida is just, again, they're just being flexible. I don't really notice anything super different from them. It's just they are just being one fluid motion almost. They're really just cooperating on a deeper level.
Now they are setting up the bunker comp here for Florida on the high ground. Unfortunately, the shield is not quite holding where the turret needs to be. Waiting for Val. There we go. Val has put it on in front where it needs to be, but not holding where you'd usually see it, because it's harder for them to get to the high ground. But here's Dallas coming up on the high ground with their own dive tactics. Comes in the background looking for those picks. The disc, the lantern does go out. Now the payload is slowly moving forward, but Ninde is going to take it down by the turret. He actually survives, able to walk through to try and get to his team, but nobody was pushing the payload. Val getting the pick onto Little Demon, and Sayonara finally takes down that pesky little turret. And they are holding strong here because the payload has not actually gone under the safe zone of the archway or the underpass. And Sayonara says goodbye to Val as he's taken down. Val actually diving forward, gets onto the payload, comes down, says, you shall not pass anymore. I like that. They are actually paying more attention to the payload now versus what Dallas was doing when they are in defense, because they gave a lot of free real estate. I'm going to keep saying it because that's fun to say. Free real estate was given to Florida from Dallas, and Florida is not allowing that free real estate in return. It's almost rude. He's like, Dallas, you gave us all the free stuff, but no, we're not going to give you any free stuff.
Now, speaking of free stuff here, we've got a Soldier 76 for Florida. Now, I love Soldier 76, but the damage output just isn't really meeting that threshold right now to get rid of those shields from that bunker composition. Because you've got the Baptiste and you've got the turrets just sitting there nice and pretty, so it's making it very difficult to get any kind of leeway with the way that Florida has themselves set up.
Especially since there's no real solid, dependable shield on the side of Dallas. So having that turret there is pretty easy. High noon trying to get it's not even really a flank, it was just a high noon from the low ground from a position you wouldn't really expect. But of course he lights up and it's really easy to find. Disc was used. You got the bongos coming out from Val. North Tower able to get Little Demon. Ponsby getting the kill onto the bongo and ST3. And even though Molten Core is on the point, Birdie is still moving it forward, and Dallas has found a small little kink that was there. Pried it open, bust through it. North Towers, that last little piece, gets a triple kill himself. Is enough to kind of get all the momentum that was happening to just stop. Birdie does get a lot of movement and distance on the payload, getting it under the past the underpass. So, and that they're still coming in. They're still going in because Dallas has the spawn advantage. High Noon does get the kill into Ponsby and Birdie's mech. So they should hopefully, I would like to see them focus down one or two people, because right now the monkey is in going by himself. He's going to be taken down by SG3 because it's hard for him to kill people while they're in the invulnerability field. North Tower, again, showing that he is a great DPS, or she, or it, is able to stop the point, and they were very, very close to capturing point A. The res does go off under North Tower, but Comic Sans takes down Minion in response. So if they can regroup, I believe Dallas will have what they need to get this point A.
Now, the defense is still pretty strong from Florida. They are being pushed out back a little bit, but I do notice Dallas still, they aren't also very eager to push. Now, Florida isn't eager to push either, but Dallas really can't afford to be played so passively.
And I completely agree. Like, it seems that the people who are being aggressive and throwing any kind of strategic things to the wind and just going in is mostly Florida, especially when they're attacked. Dallas is more or less the slow and steady, and I expected that because what we saw on the first two maps was 3-3, which is usually how you play that composition, is slow, steady, get the win, get the picks, get them to reposition, get the better position. So it does make sense to me that they're not able to all transition into that, look, go in, be aggressive, use the W key. Little Demon is being a Little Demon. He's being very annoying to the back line of Florida, and I believe that's what's actually helping them get on and get the payload. Nerfus comes out, Sights comes out, finds Little Demon, Bomb finds Birdie's mech, ST3 does find the mini version, and Yuri gets the other visor kill onto Sayonara before he's taken out by Ponsby. And then Rez right back up by Minion. And so Florida's going to be able to hold this. Just over 2 minutes left. Dallas, what are you going to do?
Well, if I were Dallas, I would just really sit down and look at what you're trying to accomplish right now. You were trying to break through a composition you're having so much trouble in, and you just can't adjust. So rather than try adjusting, you may just want to try and set the rhythm yourself.
That's great ideas. Because Florida essentially has 3 hit scans. Got the McCree, got the Soldier, and I'm counting Baptiste in that because that's actually a lot of damage that can go out. So I'm actually surprised this is working so well because of the dive competition. Little Demon actually getting the kill onto Val. Another visor comes out, this time for Dallas. Demon getting that kill onto North Tower as well. Those are 2 really great picks. Comic Sans getting the kill onto the invulnerability field. There's nothing for them to hide behind anymore. And they are using the W key. They are pushing into that corner. They are getting the kills, and they are going to get point B.
And another checkpoint for the team here on Dallas. But again, that time bank is just a lot smaller.
Already underneath what Florida got when they were in attack. Now, there's a very sneaky Val. The Reinhardt for Florida. Sneaking up from behind. He's not doing it right now. Here he is. Shatter onto Sayonara, gets the charge, kill, easy pick. Is he going to be able to get away? He is not. But cheeky, to say the least. He might be switching off Reinhardt, perhaps. Now the res comes out, so essentially it was almost done in vain. It was used to use the res, and that's about it. Sayonara does get taken down by High Noon, unfortunately. Was unable to solidify where he wanted to take cover, which is the easiest way to negate things like Nanovisor or even High Noon, just find cover. It can't shoot you through a wall. But Dallas going forward, they are basically using the payload as much cover as they can because the high ground is more or less on Florida's side. Birdie find ST3, Nitty does fall down North Tower. It is even right now. And Eugene no karaoke from Ponsby gets the double kill on the Minion North Tower. Diva Bombs come out, is not able to find anybody, but it is Dallas up right now, up 1 member in this team fight. And they are going to try and keep it to them. I like that Florida's holding on. They're not going on to the point yet. They realize they need to regroup. They can't just let them stagger as they can. Little Demon's going to be taken out by ST3. Sayonara's getting swung down to nobody's help. Comic Sans going to use another visor on this next fight. Sparkler's going to be a good job of zoning him out, using the defense matrix to make sure he doesn't get kills. But Ponsby's in the back, getting a double kill himself. Grau finds 3. Ponsby using deflect is going to be enough to stop most of the damage that could have been done. Florida uses the Lucio ult this comes out. Eugenio Karaoke coming out from Dallas, looking for the kills, gets the vulnerability, gets SG3, gets Sparkler. Minion falls to Sayonara as well. Dallas has moved this back into their favor again. North Tower has actually switched off onto the Tracer to try and stall as best he can. Battle's come up, charges down, just going to hold that shield as best he can. In just under a minute left with no one else to touch, even though after the kill at North Tower, that's going to be a full capture for Dallas as well. Good job.
Now, they don't have a lot of time, however, and when we do decide to come right back in here, we're only going to have a minute for Dallas Deranged, so Florida Harmony definitely has a lot more freedom to play around with their strategy.
And they definitely do, and I want to see what essentially happened on the first round from Florida. They got all the free real estate they needed. Dallas needs to not let that happen again. They're fine to playing the high ground, and I love that they were playing together. I love that they're playing dive, but I want them to be able to play dive, get a pick, and move back to the point. Get a pick, come back to point. You are up, but you got to recognize they have spawn advantage. And I believe that's what kind of did them in last time when Dallas was on defense, is they were getting the kills, but they didn't really have something after that. The plan was, okay, guys, dive on this person, go. Okay, now what? And they were getting caught out. They were getting taken down by Florida. So I love that they're changed up what they're doing, especially right now, because we got Comic Sans on possibly a Doomfist on attack, which I'd love to see, but I may not be it. But on defense now, I am actually very surprised to see the dive tanks that we see, the Monkey and the Diva, but actually have a Brigitte? They're going to need more healing than that. And they're not always going to be in line of the Brigitte, so hopefully they're going to be brawling with North Tower versus going off on their own thing. But here's the first engagement. They don't even want to give them any movement whatsoever, and SG3 is going to be the first to fall in this engagement as Ponzi does find the kill, and it's going to be whacked to death by North Tower, so now it's even. But again, spawn advantage does go to Dallas right now, and Comic Sans does get the uppercut punch to North Tower's face. If they can get some more picks, one or two, Minion there goes down. Comic Sans, it's working very well. They didn't expect this Doomfist because he's just popping off. He's getting half the team down, and there goes the push. So they hopefully will keep somebody on the point. They need at least two people I'd like to see on the point, or at least one, if they're going to push forward as Yuri is taken down by the dash.
Now, just seeing how comfortable Dallas Deranged is on this payload right now, it's good. I'd like to see that forward pressure, but I think it's a little too late because we're currently in overtime. And that kind of pressure...
They only hit a minute. They are under the underpass, which is very good, but North Tower is just holding that click as best he can, getting the dash, getting the flail kills as well. Val's going to take down Ponsby. Their Little Demon was taken down before he could use the ult. Doomfist comes down from above, finds the punch. It doesn't actually go right up. That was very interesting. I saw the punch onto North Tower from Doomfist at an angle to a wall, and instead of hitting the wall and taking damage, actually just slid along it, which was very interesting to me. But Minion does get killed by the punch, and Sparkle gets a double kill to stop this payload moving any further than just past the underpass.
Now, we're going to see if Florida Harmony can do just a little bit more than they can.
And just a little bit. And I did like the aggressiveness that came out from Florida, saying, you know what, let's not even let them get out the door. It made it... Maybe they were trying to do a little scare tactic because it didn't work necessarily. They were falling first, but they kept fighting, and they died on payload when they needed to. The people who could run away did run away. They were not getting staggered as what would have basically solidified point A capture, in my opinion, for Dallas if they were able to find some better staggers. Or I think really what I'm seeing, and it may not be accurate because I'm not in the comms for Dallas, the follow-ups and where they need to go next, I can't tell if they're all on the same page. It feels like they're getting the pick they need to, like SG3 fell at the beginning of it, but they all kind of scattered afterwards. It's like somebody turned on the light and they were all cockroaches. The cockroaches got that first kill on somebody, and then suddenly they turn on the light and they all scatter. If they can just move as a unit, as that dive unit, and call out targets that they need that can get those kills, like the high priority targets like Yuri, like North Tower, I believe they're going to have more success. So let's see what Dallas can do here on defense. They are going more brawly. They have the Rein Zarya, and they have the very up close and personal Reaper and May. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen here, but they are going with the pirate ship over here on the side of Florida. So we're going to see if they can do it. Yuri's going to be taken down by Ponsby. It's going to be enough. Little Demon's taken down, but Ponsby gets a double kill. It is now 4v4. North Tower with that double kill is going to make it a little more even, but Comstock is right back and forth. It's 3v3. As it's 2v2, 3v3 on the point right now. North Tower going to get frozen. Comic going to be taking it down. Great combination. Freeze him up, then just shotgun him to death. SG3 does put out the field, and it's going to be... Can Comic Sans actually do enough damage to deal with this? I don't think he can, and he's going to try and wraith around. He is going to try and run away. I'd actually like to see of him that maybe die on point versus trying to get away, but he is actually going to be able to get away. Going to regroup with his Reinhardt, which is Little Demon, and they are moving... Charge, unfortunately, is not going to find him. Die. Just to get a triple kill onto Minion, Yuri, and SG3, and then a follow-up kill onto Val. Great. You know what? There's another one right at the end. Comic Sans with a great play. I would do not doubt that might be play of the game later. What about you, Rambino?
Well, I'd call that a great Wraitha time, Spiff.
Well said. Now, unfortunately, Diva is found out. Great stall. That means that there is no sixth man, but they're moving forward on the payload right now, but the high ground is still taken, so they need to come down on here. It's just Little Demon. Shatter does come around, just stops the kill onto Ninde, who had been shattered by Florida. Great use of it. It's enough. It wasn't enough quietly to let him get away because there's nobody to dash to. North Tower with 3 kills on that one onto the Mercy, then the Mei, then the other Reinhardt. It is not looking good so far because we have a tank coming out in the form of Yuri on Bastion, finding those basically gigantic rockets. Does get the pick onto Birdie. Sayonara does fall to North Tower, and it's going to be Florida one more time taking this series 0-4 against Dallas here on Gibraltar.
And a fantastic set of games nonetheless. Go ahead and take it to play of the game. And today's play of the game brought to you by Comic Sans as Reaper.
I knew it.
He's got the Death Blossom ready to go, and oh, here we go. How about a single double into the triple for your money, and then he goes pew pew ka-choo on the 4th, and how about 5 people?
Ooh.
That's right, count them, 5 people, or you want to bank.
It was a great effort there by Dallas. It did go against their favor, 0-4 going over to Florida, but I wouldn't say that all the time Dallas was failing. Dallas was playing very good Overwatch, but couldn't find the right Overwatch that would work against Florida. Florida was, I think, the stronger team, and you know what? I'd like to hear more thoughts on the overall matchup. But somebody who isn't necessarily is not having to talk the entire time. In fact, Julik, what would you say you enjoyed about that match?
Unfortunately, this is all going to be... My review is going to be one-sided. Florida Harmony did seem pretty strong against Dallas Deranged, but I feel like this is something that Dallas can get a lot from. They should be able to look back at this VOD and say, hey, you know, we did this wrong, we did this right. Maybe at the long run, this would actually help them. But guys, that's going to be it for us here on the first match that we cast on Season 2 for the OWCC. It was going to be Dallas Deranged against Florida Harmony. The score, as you can see, is 4-0 favor of Florida. Spiff, I want to know your closing thoughts. What do you think? What were your thoughts on this match?
I liked Dallas trying to be consistent, and I liked that they definitely played a strong game. I just feel that Florida had the stronger game, and they definitely threw Dallas on the back foot with their compositions earlier in the matchup, and then they went to more. You know what? The entire time, I'm going to agree with what I believe Rambino is going to say, is that they were just more flexible, and they did a lot more compositions that maybe Dallas isn't used to playing against, because they were more or less 3-3 going to Brawl, and they did very well when they went to a different version of Brawling with the Mei and the Reaper, and it worked very well on that last push. It just, Florida was able to continue pushing forward because they had the spawn advantage, but Florida definitely came up on top on this one because of... I think they just had a better idea of what they wanted to do, and then they adjusted when they needed to.
Ramiro, your closing thoughts for tonight's match?
I'm going to say that Dallas Deranged still has the opportunity to shine. They can learn from their mistakes, and they can rise above. And that is the spirit of Overwatch, if I ever had to say there was one.
And of course, I'm not going to forget, I need to know MVPs from both sides. We're going to start off with you, Rambino. We're going to start with Dallas.
Dallas Deranged. I'm going to have to give it to the supports. Now, the supports make every team fight matter. And I can tell you right now, if the supports stay alive, it is ridiculous.
We're going to go. Spiff, for Dallas, your MVP of the night.
I'm going to go to Sayonara and his counterpart healer that was Ninde in this one, but it was there was Zenyatta's as well. Positioning from Sayonara, always being on the wall, well done. And I can't forget a fantastic counter that was done that would have wiped his team if he had not been there with a sound barrier. It was on King's Row. It was towards Point B, and his entire team was shattered. And Florida was coming forward to basically clean them up off the floor. But he was positioned well. He was not in that shatter, and he was able to get a sound barrier off, which saved his team that fight.
For the side of Florida, Rambino, your MVP, please.
For Florida, I'm going to give it to Yuri.
Yuri, excellent. And Yuri was pretty important, I feel like, in the first 2 games at least. And for you, Spiff, who's going to be your MVP for the side of Florida?
I have it between North Tower and I have it and Val. North Tower being the other DPS on the side of Florida, and I kind of want to give it to both, to be honest, because in my mind they both did 2 different roles and they did it both very well. Val was very aggressive, and it scared me, and I was just surprised that it worked so well because he didn't always have the Zarya bubble when he went in. But I will give it to Val for always making the room that I feel Florida needed to make people like Yuri shine. So I'm going to give it to Val.
Excellent. And with that in mind, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up for tonight. Once again, the score is 4-0, favoring Florida Harmony. I was your host, Julik, and Spiff. Where can everyone find you?
Guys, thanks for being here. I'm Swiftastic and you can find me 6 nights a week over at twitch.tv/Spiftastic. We are currently going through 2 different games that are not Overwatch. We got the trilogy of the Phoenix Wright series, and we have Kiwami 2, but I am fun, I am positive, I'm happy, and if you want to look for a place to come chill and, literally just be happy to be there and want to have and be encouraged, you need to come over to see me at twitch.tv/Spiftastic.
Excellent. Rambino, where can anyone find you?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at twitch.tv/ChildishRambino.
Excellent. And once again, I'm Julik487 on Twitter. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Have a good night.
Good night.